Previously on the Swiss Car Guy.
And now the Lexus developed a fault with its parking sensors. And I was actually going to do a video about how I diagnose it and how I fix it, but now I don't have the tools to actually do my repair, so instead I will do something completely different in this video. Ciao, this is Mario, the Swiss Car Guy on YouTube, and after I kind of teased it in the last video, in this video I'm attempting to repair the defective parking sensor on my Lexus LS600h. And I will show you how you can do it using only the most basic tools that every car owner has in their garage, such as, I don't know, a Windows PC, having the Toyota dealership diagnostic software on it, or a digital oscilloscope, or for example, a multimeter, but not such a cheap one. Get a professional one that's at least $300 or more, and eventually maybe even using a dual action polisher. Really? A dual action polisher? Well, actually you don't need any of that stuff, because I am pretty sure the fault that I have is caused by a scratch on this sensor, because I realized there is a little scratch, and I reckon that if I remove the scratch, the sensor will start working again, because I've had a similar situation on a previous car of mine, whose name I won't mention, and there basically getting rid of the scratch solved the problem. This is why I have the polisher out. I think I will use it. The other gear is not necessary, but since I do have the diagnostic software, let me hook it up to the car and check whether it is this sensor which I believe is the culprit.
Okay, this is the overview of all the control modules present in the car. As you can see, they are all yellow as I have not made a full scan of the vehicle. Every time I do, the software crashes. I'm starting to think that perhaps AliExpress isn't an official reseller of the Toyota dealership diagnostic interface. Anyway, we need to check the module for the parking sensors. In Toyota lingo, that would be clearance sonar. This may only take about 1,000 years. Okay, here we see it already. It has a fault with the rear center left parking sensor. So I was right, and with this confirmation I can go to work on that sensor. We actually see that the fault is current. So if I try to delete it, it should stay. Let's try deleting it. And as we see, the error is still present. So let's go to work. I start by wiping the sensor down with a detailer to get a reasonably clean surface. I use Maguire's final inspection, which is silicone and wax free, and will therefore not have a negative impact on subsequent steps. Since the scratch is quite deep, I will use a bit of sandpaper to get it out. In this case I used 600 grit, as this is all I had lying around. I am aware this is quite aggressive and will most likely wear right through the paint. But I'm not going for a pretty repair here. I'm trying to get the function back, as the constant warning messages and the sensors not actually working are a problem for me. If I manage to fix it, I might do a bit of plastic surgery later on. Given that my bumper is already full of battle scars, a blemished sensor will not impact my car's chances at the next concours d'élégance. I go over it with a dual action polisher and some fairly heavy compound to remove the sanding marks I created. With a little pot of touch-up paint that I got with the car, I try to cover the sensor. Of course, it would be much better to airbrush the paint on, but since I don't have an airbrush setup and this is a functional repair, the brush from the touch-up paint will have to do. After it dries, I try to polish off the excess paint with a dual action polisher. But I realize soon that it takes off way too much. The paint does not stick well enough to the sensor. As you can see, I have already worn through the thin paint on the sensor and have taken a good part of the primer off as well. So I freshen it back up and then leave it as it is. At this stage the paint is just there to prevent corrosion and looking okay from a distance. I might try to do another pass with a polisher after the paint has had the chance to properly dry for a few weeks. Or, if I ever decide to do the plastic surgery, I might take the sensor down to metal, primer it and then paint it properly. But like all the repairs on this channel, that would be too fancy. This is a Lexus after all and not a Hispano Suiza. It works and looks okay from a distance, kinda like me, so that's good enough for me.
Well, let's try it out. No fault. That's because I have the doors open, but it works. Doesn't complain. Good. Yeah, doors are open, I get it. Now, since I do have the computer with me, let's check it out and see if the fault is still existent. So let's hook it up. It's up here. How dignified. This is plugged in. Let's plug this into the USB. Let's see.
Right. Let's see if I can connect to the vehicle. 50,000 years later. Good. It found the car and now I have to select the model year and the specs. In this case, radar cruise. Okay, here we are. We are looking for clearance sonar again. As you can see, the fault is not current anymore. It is now history, which means it is gone. So let's see if I can erase it this time. And it's gone. No fault present anymore.
Okay, so my little fix seems to have worked. It might not be super pretty, but I think it's good enough. My bumper is beat up enough as it is, and even with the touch-up paint, I think nobody will notice, and even after maybe I do another polish, and then it might look even a bit better. But all in all, I am satisfied because the Lexus works again fully, and it's something I was able to fix myself. So hooray! I fixed something, and I hope I fixed it. The light went out. So that's it for this video. It's a very short video, but it's something I really needed to do because it was annoying me very much. The error message was popping up every time. It was driving me insane. And also, you know, I'm very used to driving with parking sensors front and rear with such a big car, and not having them may lead to problems and to greater damages. So I'm very happy that I managed to fix this. I hope you learned something out of this, or at least you maybe found out how to do it better. But I have found out that usually when parking sensors give you problem, they are either a bit corroded, they are a bit scratched, and this is something you can remedy yourself with a bit of sanding paper, with a touch-up paint, and if you have it, with a polisher to make it look a little bit nicer. So yes, even guys who do not really work on their cars sometimes can fix something on their car, and I'm very happy that I fixed this. And I want to know, what are the things that you fix on your cars that, you know, otherwise you don't work on your car, but the little things which you say, you know, I'm DIY capable enough to be able to do this. So please comment down below. Always very interested in reading your comments. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.